This is Veda Sports, only on the VSiN Podcast Network.
Hello, folks. Welcome to the Veda Sports Podcast. Couple of notes off the top first. Cantu and I were 2-0 on our picks last week. Woohoo! My first 2-0.
Let's go.
I'm only 5-9 though on the podcast. Mike was 0-2, but he's still an incredible 11-3 for the year. I don't know how he's done it so far. But listen, second note, David Woodley. New Jersey Woodley, the businessman Woodley, was so despondent last night that he said, I'm not going to do the podcast today. And we went to bed. I had to get Brett Ritchie as a backup. When I woke up, I knew there was a 70% chance Woodley would want to do this. Woodley, what was that about?
Yeah, I mean, there's always a new morning, rising of the sun, all that. Dude, I don't know, man. I can't believe how cursed I am as a fan. It's like really like bad. Every team I root for gets so excruciatingly close and loses in the dumbest way possible. This one really hurt. I mean, I went to middle school and high school in Seattle, when Griffey was there, Randy Johnson, all that. My entire family lives out there. I had already gotten plane tickets for me and my 5-year-old to fly out there to go to games 4 and 5. I had a lot of eggs in this basket. Got my hopes up. So
I'll be out there. I'll be out at game 4 and 5.
And not in Seattle, you won't. But
in Los Angeles with my Dodgers.
It's no, and I really thought it was going to happen. That team means so much to that city. I mean, they've been around 49 years. It's the only team in baseball that hasn't made a World Series. Like everything had came together so perfectly, right? You win game 5 in the 15 innings. All this Cal Raleigh, the stars are, MVP Cal Raleigh stepping up. Yesterday in the game, Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, like the future, these guys that were like years ago with Julio, like he was supposed to turn the franchise around, and he finally has, and it's culminating. And they are fucking 8 outs away, and walk, then a little dinky hit on 0-2. Oh,
okay,
Here's my rant. What the fuck is Dan Wilson doing by not putting Munoz in there? Like, how can you, the biggest pitch at bat in your entire franchise history, and you put in your 4th best reliever? I don't know.
The guy who pitched 2 innings the night before.
It's insane.
He's so good. He's the best. I believe he's the very best reliever in baseball. You have him. And the thing about this series that they didn't understand is the Blue Jays put up so many runs that there's not many real tight games to the end. You got to put Munoz in when you have the chance. It was the most obvious blunder to put Munoz in that situations. Not only that, I hated when Dan Wilson pulled Kirby. Kirby was dealing. Like you pulled him to put in Woo, which Woo then, because Woo is really good. It's arguable who's better between Kirby and Woo. Woo starts dealing. I'm like, leave him in. And then you pull him again. I don't understand. We finally got rhythm. I don't understand it. I don't get it. And I knew once he hit that 3-run homer, it was over. It is over. As Woodley said, last thing on this, it was too bad because Julio had the great game. Cal had the great game. It was set up for their futures. And Dan
Kirby had the great game.
So did Woo. It was all on Dan Wilson.
All right, guys, I want to say nicely done on that rant there. And the both of you combined. Now, of course, Cantu went to a bunch of games.
I went to game 5. I went to game 5 where the Grand Slam. We hit the Grand Slam to go.
Did you
ahead.
really leave before it happened?
No, I messed with you guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
I figured
Never.
All right, Mike the Mouth Madison, 4-time World Series of Poker winner. Mike, sports, studies sports, watches more games than all of us combined, sends more text messages than anybody on the planet Earth.
My rant is over greatness and stupidness. I'm going to start off with stupidness really quick and then go into greatness. Stupidness is, it wouldn't have mattered, but watching a coach in a Houston Texan game, when he gets a score with over 2 minutes to go, the only chance he has is to onside kick or kick it out of bounds. And he kicks off, and then they're able to kneel it. I mean, this is the second time this happened in week 1 with the Bears and the Vikings.
It's so
And so many people on Twitter, on X, were just saying, how could a coach be this bad? And it showed. If you watched the game yesterday, you watched a Houston Texan coach that is a great, great defensive coordinator and has not a clue what's going on in any other part of the game. That's my negative for the week. My greatness for the week goes out to my friend Brandon Cantu, the man who found a way to win 45 units on Sunday with 14 NFL games. Now think about that. There's 14 NFL games, and the man won 45 units. He bets 1 unit on each game. Think about that. Where did you find 45 bets?
I'll tell you, I won every quarter of every half of every NFL game. It was the most
with
bets
the totals
I've ever
too,
won.
I guess, right?
Yeah.
You had
Listen, I had every quarter, every half, and every game. I just nailed everything. I hit the whole afternoon slate. I didn't miss a bet in the afternoon
let me grab
with
that
the
nail
totals.
out of the wall over here.
And don't worry, I did anti-Justin Fields bets for like anything you could think of, and he got pulled at half like I thought he would. So that helped.
Okay, guys, listen, I'm so entertained by your rants. I don't even have a rant. I love this. I'm having so much fun.
You know what's? Can I say one last thing, Phil? Is my rant was the same rant as Mike was going to do, but I was going to like pile on that the Seahawks, because I actually had a rant. All I was going to say was the Seahawks tried to blow it through every down in the second half.
Another idiot coach. Another
They
moron
were
coach.
so bad. The Seahawks coach.
Oh my God,
they
that coach
couldn't
was
blow
so
it.
bad.
He couldn't blow it. 4 turnovers. If he coached that right, they should have won like 42-6. That should have been the final.
I didn't even know. I didn't watch it. I was so disappointed.
You know what?
So
I forgot about that. The more I think about it, that coach was just as bad. He's up 15 at his own 10. He's throwing every down with 4 minutes to go. Like, all he do is run the ball 3 times. Houston couldn't get a yard.
Last thing on this is we go into shotgun. It's second down. We're up 2 scores at our own 6. They put Darnold into shotgun. Darnold goes in shotgun, runs backwards, sees a defender coming, comes back around this way, and just gets stuffed, fumbled, touchdown. I'm like, what are you doing back there?
That was the first time, though. But
that was in the second half. Yeah.
The second time he got tackled at the 1 when he's sitting there trying to throw the ball up 15 with like 4 minutes to go.
That's your boy Darnold. That's Darnold.
Oh, that was Darnold.
Well, of course, Woodley hates Darnold. I did hear Troy Aikman talking about how great Darnold's been this year, top 3 quarterback, according to Troy Aikman. But I guess
they were going off on the play calls by fucking McDonald.
By the way, yeah, the poker players, let's give us some credit for understanding basic strategy around football.
Yeah.
And so we kind of a lot of us just want to throw up when we see these games where coach makes a mistake, coach makes a mistake.
That was the most mistakes I've seen all year out of any game. I mean, it wasn't close. 3 times more than I've seen out of any game.
It was like you had complete retards, like literally on both sides of coaching. Like my friend Ben's texting us, he goes, "Who's a bigger retard, the Seattle coach or the Houston coach?" I'm it's close.
I mean, that second half, and then Cantu called me and made me go back. I played poker last night and
had to go watch
in a high stakes game, and he made me go back and watch. And I watched that play where Darnold just turns right into the defender like he should have known there, and then gets stripped. And it did look like it was a one-way Seattle game. All right, listen, guys, you heard our rants went a little bit long this week. There's a lot of pain over there for poor Woodley and Cantu. Woodley's the most emotional guy you've ever seen. This was his hometown team going down in flames. We'll be back with our number 1 picks on the other side.
You're listening to Feta Sports on the VSiN Podcast Network.
Welcome back, folks. We have a contest where we give away $500 a week thanks to our sponsor, Edge Boost. Check out Edge Boost, VSiN Average Joe contest. Simply make 7 picks each week, NFL or college, for your shot at $500. Already have an Edge Boost account? Then you'll win double if you win the contest, $1,000. Quarterly winners also get airfare to Vegas, a 2-night stay at the Circa Resort, and a guest spot on a VSiN show. Wow, a guest spot. That's kind of cool. It's free to play. Join us at VSiN.com/Joe. VSiN.com/Joe. Woodley and I, we love Edge Boost. We both kind of work for Edge Boost, but let's go to our number 1 picks. Brandon Cantu, you're 2-0 this week. You're in a fog. You're depressed from last night, but enlighten us.
All right. I've been red hot, so I feel very confident saying on this one. Jets at Bengals. I got it at Bengals -6. I bet it the second the line came out. It is now 6.5. And I think it's going to climb to 7, maybe 7.5. So I would get this as quick as possible. The Bengals, I love journeyman Joe Flacco. It's funny because I hated him whenever he was playing in Baltimore all those years. I couldn't stand him, but I like this journeyman. He just picks up the playbook, starts throwing the ball around. I love this part. I just love this part of Flacco's career, and he's doing very well at it. Jets are so bad. I also bet 500 today, and I took them under season win totals of under 3.5. I think they get smashed. I think they run it up and win big.
Okay. I have a thought on this. The Cincinnati Bengals are my number one pick as well. It's very rare. Wow. We have two guys with number one picks. And yeah, it's just, I don't know what happened last week, but I do know this. Flacco was throwing the ball all over the place, and he has two great receivers. I think we would all probably agree, although Mike likes to be contrarian and might just argue with us for no reason. They probably have the best receiver core in the NFL right now.
It's one of them.
Yeah, for sure. We all would agree they're top three, so let's not get into that debate. I was just kind of stunned. It looked to me like Cincinnati's season was over. They lost their superstar, Burrow, for months, and it just looked like their season was over, and here they come out of nowhere. They're playing the hapless Jets. I've seen nothing with the Jets. The Jets coach has made a bunch of really, really basic, stupid strategy mistakes over and over again. It's really hard to watch. And so I think the Jets have just given up on the season. And I like that coach as a passionate coach, but he just hasn't been making a lot of good strategy mistakes. So I love this pick. Now, Mikey, a little birdie told me that you are going to.
I'm here with square and squarer peg. Two square pegs in a fucking pear tree. Okay. I looked at lines because we are Tuesday betting. And I said to myself, 7 points, because the line was 7. I bet 7. I took 7 with the Jets. Let me explain something to you, okay? The Bengals have the second worst, they have the worst defense in the NFL. I mean, Rodgers went up and down the field, okay? Well, maybe Pittsburgh has the worst defense in the NFL because I thought that their defense had improved. Then I realized they played the awful Vikings offense and the awful Browns offense with those 2 weeks. Now they played somebody that had a clue, and Chase, when the game on the line, did you guys see the video with Chase was wide open and they pan out. There's nobody within 10 yards of him, okay? I mean, the Pittsburgh defense is awful, okay? If you go and watch Cincinnati going into last week, they had lost 4 straight. They were awful. And you know what? Because Joe Flacco, the guy who
love Flacco.
He threw 9 fucking picks in 3 weeks for Cleveland. And what happened Cleveland do? Cleveland should have beat the Vikings 2 weeks ago with Gabriel. They won by 100 last week. Okay. You guys are overreacting to some 80-year-old quarterback that had a good game against a shitty defense.
He's good.
The Jets are terrible. The coach is the worst coach in the NFL. These are non-starters, okay? But they've given up 13 2 weeks in a row. And so that means the defense is gotten better. And the Bengals defense, even if it's Justin Fields, even if it's the backup quarterback, the Bengals are going to give up 20 because they don't know how to not give up 20. And you're asking Joe Flacco to score 27 again? Are you guys insane? I'm like, I saw this, and I said, the books know how awful the Jets are, right? And I bet it at 7 last night. And then when I woke up today, I saw 6.5, and I said, wow, I never saw the 6, so that's great that you got your number. Yeah. Maybe we both win. But when I saw 7 last night, I jumped on it. When I woke up today and I saw 6.5, I said, okay, I'm not an idiot. Well, I am an idiot, but so that's my number one pick. I mean, my number one pick is the worst coach in the NFL and the worst team in the NFL. No, the Titans are the worst team in the NFL.
Yeah, they're not the worst.
and that's it. And
now, Mikey, did you see this photo behind me? It's by a world-class artist, right? And you see how I'm flexing like this?
I thought that was like a fucking Rocky fucking picture.
That's by a world-class artist, Andy Lakey. Unfortunately, he died. We played poker with him a long time ago. But this is me flexing from my week 2-0.
You guys,
I was 2-0.
It's a week-to-week league, dude. The Bengals would be lucky if they win the game. I think they'll win the game.
I'm gonna cut to the chase here. It's you guys are on the wrong side for sure. Mike is right. I'm taking the Jets. 7, 6.5, 6. It doesn't matter. Right. The Jets are a mess, and I want to address one thing. What Woody Johnson did yesterday. What a piece of shit that guy is, man. Like, did you see him? He came out and just absolutely trashed Justin Fields, and the same guy that ran Aaron Rodgers out of town too. By the way, he's like,
he wanted the backup of Pittsburgh. Why would he keep Rodgers?
He's like, if we could complete a pass, we do this. It's like, dipshit, you're the one that like brought in Justin Fields to be your QB1. Like, what has Justin Fields done in like 4 or 5 years that makes you think he can throw a football?
Oh, by the way, he has the worst record in the history of the NFL. Yeah. 14-36 as a starter at 50 games.
I love how we're both taking. We're just bashing them too because they're
that's funny.
The thing about it's too many points. I mean, the thing about the Jets is like they're bad. I think the frustrating thing for them, and I have friends who are Jets fans, is like they should have won like 3 or 4 of these games. Like they lost by 2 to the Steelers. They lost by 2 to the Buccaneers. They punted that game off. They lost, by 6 to the Dolphins. They should have beat the fucking Broncos. They lost by 2 to the Broncos, and then they lost 13-6 to the Panthers. So I don't think they're going to win. But it like Mike said, they'll put up points. Tyrod Taylor is like whatever. But when these things happen and when things snowball so much, like they'll come out and they'll play them tough. So it's too many points. So give me the Jets.
Yeah. Okay, guys. Okay, that was interesting because we have Mikey with his number 1 pick. Cantu and I have our number 1 picks directly against it, which means we're going to go to Mr. David Woodley, the businessman.
Wait a minute. Stop it, man. Why are we wasting time? He's taking the Minnesota Vikings +3 as his number 1 pick.
No.
What?
No.
What?
Well, first of all, there's 3.5, but no, I'm not taking them.
Wow.
Really?
My.
Wait,
let's cancel the show.
Woodley, just give us a second here. Now, I believe Cantu, I don't know if I remember right, Mikey and Cantu, but Woodley just picked the Minnesota Vikings against the spread for 20 weeks in a row?
Yeah, something like that. I lost track.
He's shaking his head. So he's saying, yes, Woodley, you're not picking this Seattle? I mean, you're not picking Minnesota? Who do you got?
I've accepted fate that I am cursed till the end of time on all my teams. And in the case of the Minnesota Vikings, they got to show me something because Wentz sucks. They got to put in McCarthy.
Did you see the thing I sent on the stream today about Wentz having the 7 worst passes of the week?
Yeah, no, I can't take them. I honestly would take the Chargers, but I'm not going to pick against my team. I am going the New York rematch of an upset. Maybe it's a little square, but I'm going the New York Giants, 7-point dog at Philadelphia.
You can get 7.5. I think I saw.
Maybe, yeah, or whatever. It's 7.
I think it's 7.
Whatever Danny flashes up on the screen. The some people would be like, oh, it's recency bias. They beat them. Yeah, 7. They beat them a couple weeks ago. You probably think they can do it again. I don't think it's as much that is. Man, that's I told Mike all week. He was begging me to take Denver and Survivor, and that might have been the worst punt off I've seen ever. And it was all on the coach. Like that was, I know every week we're like, it's the worst thing ever. That was one of the worst I've ever seen. Okay. You take Dave. So coaching is important, but you remove Dable or whatever that fat idiot he is. That's a really good club there. Like Jackson Dart.
They gave away 2 games. The Dallas game and that game.
Jackson Dart has it. Cam Scatteroo has it. They'll probably lose, but they'll keep it close. I mean, that's a very competitive team there. I'm not sold on Philadelphia either. I mean, you're going to be like, oh, homer this, homer that. But, like, Minnesota should have won that game. Like, if Wentz doesn't if Wentz doesn't have the stinker of all fucking stinkers, they win that game. They win that game pretty easily. Mike's right. Like that Philly team is not good. That Philly team should not be a 7-point favorite over anyone in the NFL other than maybe the Titans and like maybe the Jets. And the Giants are a hell of a lot better than those teams. So Giants. I may sprinkle the money line too because 7's a lot, man. I think they'll be there.
You know
let me comment, Mike. I'm going to come to you, but I just want to say that, like, you know, the lines are important, and I think I'm going to give Woodley the benefit of the doubt. I'm looking right now at my place, and you can get 7.5. Woodley, we're going to give you 7.5. Okay. We're going to correct that screen later, but also to the people, like, you know, it's 7.5. I mean, it's easy to get one or the other. It's right on the line right now.
Yeah.
You lay up a little bit of juice. All right, but anyway, enough of that. Mikey, what's your take? Giants at Philadelphia.
So crazy. This was almost my number 2 pick.
Wow, you and Woodley are aligned.
I just said to myself,
bad news.
This Giant team, okay, they could easily have won like 4 straight. The game against the Saints, they were going to put them away. They got the tip, then they fumble, and they ran it all the way back. It was a 14-point swing. They lost that game by 12. Then they murdered the Eagles the next week, and which could have given them 3 straight wins. And then they demolished Denver. And the only way they could lose with 5 minutes to go, and when they have 1 timeout left, is throw the ball. All they have to do is run the ball, punt the ball, and the only chance Denver would have would be to score in the first 60 seconds, and then they get about 40 seconds left at the end of the game, or make an onside kick. And this asshole fucking idiot coach throws the ball, pick, they get first down at the 10, they score in 2 seconds, and then they get in the position to win the game.
We all saw, Mike, we all saw the game.
The Giants are great. The Giants are
let me
really
fact
good.
check that. Let me fact check that. Mikey's right. They were up 2 scores with about 4.5 minutes left.
Yeah.
3
and
scores, wasn't it?
We all think the coach was just horrendous there. We all agree with Mike.
3 with 5:14 to go, but 2 with 4:50.
Yeah.
2 with 4:50 to go.
4:50. That's right.
And how could you give this team 7? The Eagles aren't 7.5 points better than the fucking Titans. Okay?
Let me make some sense of all this.
Well, yeah, that they might be over them. Sorry.
Let me make some sense here.
They're bad.
First off, I got to point out that Woodley and Mike's top 2 picks are 2 New York teams, and New York football
Not
is
my second pick. I said it almost was.
Yeah, close enough. It's just as bad as it gets. So we'll start there. With that, I am going to copy you guys on the Giants pick. I love the Giants. I am a big Jackson Dart fan. Of all the quarterbacks that I have seen in this class, like, Cam Ward's garbage from what I like.
There's only like 2 quarterbacks, Cantu.
Yeah. Well, Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel, I'm not on. I just like Jackson Dart. Well, we haven't seen Shador yet, but
Gabriel hasn't thrown a pick yet. So I mean,
well
what do you
played,
want from
Cantu.
him?
Well played. Continue.
Yeah, and so I like Jackson Dart. It's kind of funny. In the first 2 games, I've only bet 3 first touchdowns this year. It was all 3 on Jackson Dart, and the first 2 hit at 17-1. So I was like really happy. And then I bet him plus 385 last week. This is how you win 40 some units right here, Mike. I picked up another plus 385. I love as a bonus pick Jackson Dart rushing touchdown this week. Jackson Dart looks great. I trust him. He looks confident. He did not look confident the last 5 minutes of the game, but he'll get better. He looks very confident throwing, and with Scattaboo, who doesn't like Scattaboo?
How can you say he didn't look confident the last 5 minutes of the game? On 4th and 19, with the game over pretty much, he throws the best throw ever to get him. I don't know if it was a first down or not.
No,
it
Mike,
would have been measured, but
Mike, did you not see when he throws the ball, just doesn't see the defender, pick sick?
But that's on the coach. He shouldn't even been throwing.
That's not on the that's not on the coach. It's on the quarterback. He threw it right to the guy. He just didn't see him. That's the problem. He didn't see him. But my point is that comes with like growing pains. He's gonna get better. He's gonna make a mistake, especially when he's throwing it around a lot to try to stay in that game. He did a nice job keeping him in the game. That is a future Pro Bowl quarterback right there. Might be Pro Bowl this year if he did
Okay. I have some answers. I'm going to be the last one to speak on this. Okay, and then we're going to go to a little break. Let me just say this. My nephew was over at my house. Great kid. Giorgio lives in Italy. And he was talking about Jackson Dart. So I started paying a little closer attention.
He's so good.
We watched the Thursday night game a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, right? And I just couldn't believe it. I'm like, wow, this kid has some swagger. This Jackson has swagger. And so we all see it. We all see the swagger and the potential to become a star. Now, I wouldn't agree with Cantu and anoint him a Pro Bowl quarterback or Hall of Fame quarterback just
Playing
yet.
good.
But I'll tell you this, he's had a fantastic start. He took it on himself. The players love that. After the game, he said, "My fault, we lost the game."
Yeah.
Now that comes with having swagger too, owning your mistakes. Mike's really good at that too. So I'm going to have to go with the Giants at the 7.5. But to me, it matters.
Danny, hold on. Danny, that is a consensus pick. Put that on the board right now. Consensus pick. Our consensus picks have been hot.
But I will say this. I was the only one that went against you guys last week on Philadelphia. I said they're going to wake up. They woke up and they played really good. They played to their level. I think I read something recently where someone said that they have 9 of the top 100 players in the NFL, Philadelphia. So it's a matter of putting it together. And I think Philly's going to win this game. They're probably going to win by 6 or 7, which means I'm going to have to take the New York Football Giants. Okay, we're going to break. We gave you our rants. We gave you our number 1 picks. After the break, our number 2 picks. See you in a minute, folks.
You're listening to Feta Sports on the VSiN Podcast Network.
The Feta Sports Podcast is brought to you by our sponsor, Splash Sports. If you don't know about Splash, the founders bought OfficeFootballPool.com and RunYourPool.com. Millions of customers on those sites, and they're now live in 45 states plus Canada. Download the Splash Sports app, currently sitting at number 10 in the App Store and climbing. You'll find all sorts of contests and bets starting at $5. Thanks again to Splash Sports for sponsoring the Fade Us Sports podcast. Okay, folks, we're going to go to number 2. Now, Mike is 13-2. Sorry,
No,
11-2.
11-3.
Sorry, I keep getting this wrong, but he's 11-3. We give him credit. He's 8 games over 500, but he did lose 2 out of 2 last week. Still, he merits.
I did go 7-3 in our pick'em, but just so happens our top 2 I lost, which sucks.
That's
Whatever, Mike. Boo.
Well, you guys like to always bring up my pick'em. Oh, look at Mike at the bottom. Well, Mike's in like 32nd place.
Hold
right
on,
now.
guys. I got to say, Danny, can we put this on the board? I am in 6th place in the pick'em. $2,000 buy-in, 120 players. Are you proud of me, Mike? Can I get a little praise?
We have the same amount of wins. You just have more points because my 9s and 10s went down this week, which really hurt.
You
Tough
know,
break.
I'll also say this. It's $30,000 first. We're talking about the Mark Gregorich poker players pool where almost all the famous poker players have ponied up $2,000 to be in this league. It's a lot of fun. All right, Mikey, what do you got for your number 2 pick?
All right. I'm going to do something that you'll probably never see me do on this podcast again.
Ooh.
Okay. I am going with the number 1 ranked offense in the entire league. The team that has the number 1 points scored, number 1 points differential, number 1 completion differential. And let's look at this. Through 7 weeks, you guys could look at it. Through 7 weeks, the Indianapolis Colts are on pace to become the greatest offense and greatest efficient offense in the history of the NFL. Even more efficient than the New England Patriots.
Wow.
They are, and wait. What they have done, people will say, well, they're the teams they have beat, they're 15-27. Okay. But the good teams they've played, they've won or had the guy at the 1-yard line drop the touchdown that cost them their only game, or they'd be 7-0.
Always
okay?
an excuse.
And against the bad
Always
teams,
an excuse for Mike.
against the bad teams, they just murder bad teams. They beat bad teams by 30 points a game. I thought this line was going to open 17.5. And it opened 14, and I almost bought it to 13.5 just in case they get a back door. But then I said to myself, you know what? They're going to put up 31. The Titans are averaging on the road like 10.8 points a game, and at home 13. Last week they had 10-3 after the fucking first 2 drives, scored 3 the rest of the game. Another one I was completely wrong about because fucking the Titans are that bad. The Titans are the worst team we might have seen in the NFL in many years.
They're not that bad.
And you know what? I know it's not the greatest spot for them coming off a road win. They got the Steelers on deck on the road next week, but they punish bad teams. they're going to put up 31-38. And if they put up 31, you're going to need 18 out of the Titans. Have they scored 18 this year? Oh, yeah. They scored 18 the one game against Arizona that they shouldn't even have had more than 6. I'm laying 14 with the Super Bowl champion, 2026 Super Bowl champion, Indianapolis Colts.
All right, let me address this first of all, Mikey. I was stunned last week when you somehow picked the Kansas City Chiefs. You laid 12 points.
Yeah,
13 maybe. But you talk about being square. This is a very square pick, Mike. Admit it. You're laying 14 points.
I can't help myself. I think if they don't even try, I think if Danny Jones throws two picks and Taylor only has 150 yards rushing instead of 250, I just don't see how this fucking team was the only chance.
Okay, Mike.
No. The only chance this team had of winning a game was last week when the Patriots were on their 3rd straight roadie, and they were fucking terrible. I told you I'll never pick them again. I told you last week I was insane to pick them, and I went for them because it was a perfect spot.
You're SpongeBob SquarePants.
Okay.
How about that?
Okay. Listen, when you give me
Mike,
fucking...
stop.
You can't give me an hour to fucking get a game again.
all the talking.
Anyways, it's a lot of... All you just have to say is...
Give us Woodley. Woodley, make a
Titans
little
are bad.
sense out of this. I use Cantu's line. Let me make sense.
I mean,
Go ahead, Woodley.
I typically stay away from 14 points either way on it. But we're going to be taking them in Survivor, so I'm going to just root for a big blowout so we just have zero stress. Yeah, man, I don't think the Colts are as good as Mike makes them out to be, but I think the Titans are as bad as he makes them out to be. And yeah, I mean, this one could be over quick. I mean, this one easily could be 24-3 at halftime, and at that point, like it's covered. I mean, this isn't like the Titans aren't a team that's going to like backdoor cover on you. Like you don't have to worry about them. They can't throw the ball. Right, so
they
like
can't run the ball.
This idea that they're gonna like suddenly put up points when the other team's playing like prevent defense, it doesn't do it. So if there's one team that I would take 14 against, it would be the Titans. So give me the Colts.
All right, Cantu, as you like to say, make sense of this.
I will, and I sure hate it when Mike's on the square side. I sure hate
Me
it.
too.
I'm going to be betting. I was with you, Mike. I took the Chiefs last week when they won by 1 million. The Colts are going to win by 1 million this week. I think a lot of these lines, they're not. I'm going to try to explain this here. They're not high enough. And the reason they're not high enough is a couple things. Right now on the kickoffs, you're starting 5 to 10 yards closer. They're doing these new K balls. They're loosening them up, the K balls. So you're able to kick all these long 70-yard field goals. So these teams are able to put up a lot of points, and it's starting to show. I think it's going to cause for a lot more big blowouts like this. They're going to trounce them. It's going to be bad. This Titans team is perfectly set up for who the Colts are going to beat by 31 tomorrow. It could be like 49-10, something like that.
They're so bad. I mean, like you guys might not be right on the Indy Colts being as good as I think they are, but
I think the Colts.
I know
are
the
really
Titans.
good.
I know the Titans are as bad as. I mean, they are.
Okay, all right. I mean, I always worry when you lay 14 and Tennessee goes down and scores a touchdown right away. But even if they do,
I'm not worried.
Even if they are 7-0, I'm thinking that they're still going to lose.
I might not be. I won't be scared if they're up 14.
Still not
That's
going to
what's
cover.
If they get up 7-0, you should hammer the Colts money.
They were
Yes.
10-3,
You should hammer the Colts
10-3.
everything. You should
I was
hammer
so
everything.
excited last week. They went boom, score, up 10-3. I'm like, yes, I'm on the right side. Yes. And then this team didn't score the rest of the game.
Oh, wait. Danny, that is another consensus pick. What is going on? Danny, please post that right now.
Okay, we're in the middle of our number 2 picks. All right, who's ready? Cantu, you ready with your number 2?
Yeah, and I want to say before I start this is 49ers at the Texans. This is one of the most confusing lines I've seen. It is the most confusing line I've seen all year. On DraftKings right now, you can get Texans -1, and on Bookmaker, or no, it's 49ers -1, or it's one or the other. And the other one is the 49ers +2. There's a 3-point difference depending on where you shop this around. I haven't seen that all year.
I don't even have the line.
Anyways, 49ers +2 is what do we got? We got 1.5. I'll take the 49ers +1.5. I'll use that one. And again, it goes off of what I saw. This Houston Texans team, you want to talk about the biggest regression of any quarterback? It's CJ Stroud. The guy looks lost back there. He's missing wide open receivers. Since nobody else watched the game last night, this late 1 a.m. Eastern game, well, us West Coasters did, but not many people saw it. CJ couldn't hit anybody. The coaching was a disaster. The play calling, horrible. The clock management on Houston. This is what it looked like in the fourth quarter. They would be at the 1 yard line. They would run the ball down 2 scores with like 4 minutes left. He would get stopped. And they would go huddle up. They wouldn't get the snap off till 3 or 4 seconds back the other way. This happened over and over and over again. You would have thought the Seahawks were behind and the Texans were winning. It was so bizarre.
So unbelievable.
I think you lose the locker room. I think you lose the fan base. Everybody on Twitter and all these like sites are just hammering them for this. I think it's going to wear thin in the locker room. You couldn't pay me to take the Texans this week.
It's interesting because the poker players, again, the one thing that we're really good at is seeing basic strategy mistakes by coaches. But you know what? 70% of the public sees those mistakes too. And everybody's at home just saying, what are they doing? You have to hurry up. You're down 2 scores. There's 4 minutes left. Oh, on the other side,
it's a
Seattle.
Year.
Why don't you run the ball when you're up 2? I mean, just so many basic
versus a team that couldn't get a yard. Remember, Seattle couldn't get a yard and they wouldn't run the ball.
I don't understand how you can't just have basic 10 no huddle plays. That's all you have to have, 10 no huddle plays. Nobody else is going to know what you're 5. I don't care, 5 basic no huddle plays and just go and just race up to the line of scrimmage so you don't just lose the game. I don't get it.
Okay, I'll just say this. I love your pick. I love the Niners. The Niners are a real team.
I did too.
I just couldn't believe it. When they lost Purdy, I was like, oh man, there goes the Niners season. I think most of us thought that. I think their over-under number was 10.5 wins before the year. I kind of like the over. I stayed away from it. And then I don't know what happened, but Mac Jones has come in and he's been at minimum serviceable. He's made a lot of clutch throws on third down. Their defense suddenly looks good. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is the Niners team I was hoping to see.
How good is that GM? I mean, does it matter? Their backups are somehow better than everyone else's starters. I kept thinking that the 49ers were going to come back down to earth. I've just realized their backups are that good.
John Lynch has been fantastic. You're right, Cantu. And it's I told my wife, I said, honey, this game's happening 19 minutes from our house. And she's like, whatever. My wife doesn't watch a down of football. She's not even interested in knowing that. But yeah, I think the Niners are a real team. I think they have a chance to really crush Houston in this game. I love your pick. Woodley, what say you? We're talking about Niners +1.5.
I mean, it's funny because we had to listen to Mike. I had to listen to Mike all week talk about how Houston's a great team, how they're going to smash Seattle.
I told you they had the best defense in the NFL, and they fucking got 4 turnovers, and they never had a chance.
Homer. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to take the Texans.
Yes.
San Francisco, they're looking good. I mean, they're kind of just pulling this out of their ass, for lack of a better word. Houston does have a good defense. I'm telling you, I did not watch that game last night. They actually put that game on at the Mariners bar afterwards, and people were like cheering, and I was like yelling. I was like, "Who gives a fuck about this game? They're not gonna do anything. Sam Darnold, he's not gonna do anything. Darnold is gonna let you down." I mean, it was like that scene in Major League, what's his name? Maybe it was like Major League 2. What's his name? He's like crazy. Dennis Quaid. There was like that. Maybe that's what I'll become. Actually, some recluse down the road, like fighting the government.
Woodley at age 60 in a bar somewhere. His Mariners, he's ready to quit the podcast because his Mariners lost. And they force him to watch his quarterback that he hates the most in the world, Darnold, who let him down last year. I can only imagine Woodley in the bar saying, "Don't get your hopes up. You have Sam Darnold."
No, trust me.
I could hear him say that too.
I was on one, man. I was on one. Anyways, I didn't see that game, but I do think that Houston has a good defense. I do think, listen, they're playing at home. It's an early, it's not the farthest trip in the world for San Fran.
It is an early game. Yeah,
but it is early. I think they're just playing with like a lot of adrenaline. Like they're kind of due for a. I'm not a big believer in like letdown spots, but I think they've just like something has to change a bit. So I give me Houston. It's not very scientific, but they're at home. They got to win. It's a good defense. That is a good defense. And
Mikey, what do you got, Mikey?
Stop them.
This game, I couldn't find the line. I finally found the line because I wanted to make my number 2 pick. I wanted to make my number 2 pick this game under because the right now Frisco is winning games like 17-13. They won last week 20 to somehow the Atlanta quarterback didn't know what town he was in, and they have a really good defense. And Houston's offensive line is just. I thought they had fixed the problem. You guys were right. It was because they played the Ravens missing their whole defense, and they played the Titans who have no defense. So you guys were right on that. The front four of San Francisco is going to get pressure on this guy. The only thing that people don't understand is Kirk missed last week's game from an illness. They expect him back next week, and I think that really hurt them a lot in the game. I think Houston at home wins this game.
No, stop.
I think 20-17 or 17-16. I love the under in this game. 45 points, and that's going to go down.
Dude, are you talking about Christian Kirk? Dude, he's like not.
Stop it.
Well, they paid him $72 million. Okay, he was their number 1 receiver. He did really well the 2 weeks before, according to Ben. I didn't watch any of the games, and they struggled last week. I just think that
you always have an excuse.
I'm just going by what I just know that Christian Kirk back is going to give him another receiver.
Christian Kirk. Come on.
And again, it's the early game, West Coast to East Coast. And not really it's not the East Coast.
What are you talking about?
Houston's in the middle of the season.
All right, we gotta move on.
They have a great defense. I told you they have the best defense.
Move on.
Okay, Mike, listen. All right, I'm gonna.
I like Houston. I'm
gonna go with my number 2 pick. We're gonna go through this a little bit quicker. I'm taking the Packers -3 at the Pittsburgh Steelers. I will be rooting for the Steelers to win this game. Actually, I'll be rooting since the line is 3. Let's see, how do I win both? Because I have $15,000 on Pittsburgh Steelers to win over 8.5 games. So I need, I don't know, can I win both? Oh, shoot, I don't think I can. All right, but I love the Packers in this game. I think they're a real team. I know
Sunday night football. The Steelers defense has just let me down just when I think they have it together. They had one good week and we're all like, yes, their defense is back. And then last week, the defense laid another egg. I think the Packers are a real team. I don't like the fact that they have to move from coast to coast for this game, basically Arizona to Pittsburgh. But I think the Packers are going to find a way, and I think maybe they're going to put it together and win big. Thoughts, Woodley?
I hate all the people involved in this game, big time. I hate Rodgers. I hate the Packers. I want to point out Phil, though. I mean, Phil, this is like the fandom levels. Like, I would never, ever root against my Vikings unless it was like literally for like the number 1 pick, and then they would end up winning anyways. You're rooting against your team, your hometown team, the Green Bay Packers, for a $15K bet. Phil, you're worth billions, Phil. It's like. You got like 15,000 in the.
That's a good point.
In your cushions and change, Phil. I can't believe it.
Man, Woodley just shamed me hard because I am a big Packers fan.
I can't believe it.
You're right, Woodley. That was the.
I've been to a Packers Super Bowl that they won. I've been to a Packers Super Bowl that they lost.
See, he's spoiled.
You're
He's
right.
seen him win the Super Bowl. See, I don't know what that feels like. Maybe
hurry up. We got to get your side. What do you take a side?
I'm taking Pittsburgh only because Aaron Rodgers, for whatever reason, he really shows up against all these teams that he has spited him, right? He did it to the Jets. He did it to the Vikings because the Vikings wanted the Vikings to sign him. They beat them. And he's going to beat the Packers, too, because he's a vengeful prick.
Yes.
So.
Okay, and I'll be super quick. I think the line is exactly right. I think the game ends and Packers win by 3.
And you know what, guys? If you want, I was just looking. There are some 3.5s. You could lay $1.15.
Yeah.
Okay, which is very cheap to get.
Then I'll take the
3.5.
Steelers. I'll take Steelers.
Okay, I don't know what you guys are seeing in this Green Bay team. They're 4-1-1. They barely beat Flacco off the bench 2 weeks ago as 14-point favorites. They were terrible. I think they led that game for like 5 minutes the whole game against Arizona, who was playing has nobody. This team has not impressed me. The defense is Parsons looks great, but the rest of the defense and their offense looks like shit.
Yeah.
People are going against Pittsburgh because they saw the disaster of last week. It's recency bias. I think the Packers could win. This is a revenge.
Both teams look bad.
Rodgers
I'll sum it up for you. Both teams
wants to
bad.
beat this game. They have Indianapolis on deck. It's going to be tough to beat Indy the following week. I think Pittsburgh wins this game outright. I'm going against you, Phil. I'm taking the 3.5.
Let me just tell you, my Packers are leading the division. Okay,
I know.
All right, they're ahead of Detroit, who's 5-2. The old 4-1-1 sometimes works. I think they're leading the division. I just looked it up. I know they're leading the division.
They just haven't looked good the last 4 weeks.
Woodley, let me go off script here for a second. Did you give us your second pick yet?
No.
Go.
I am going with my second pick, another big underdog. I got it at 7.5, but I think it's 7 now. That doesn't matter too much. And I am going with the Carolina Panthers at home versus the Buffalo Bills.
Mm-hmm.
You
like it?
I took Carolina preseason. I keep taking them here. I think I've nailed them every time I've taken them here. 7's just too much. I mean, that Bills defense is bad. 7's too much. It's too much.
It's 7.5. You can get 7. It is 7.
I'll be quick. I had seen some 7.5. It might be 7, but the Panthers, I've been right about them like a lot. They were my number 1 pick last week. They're playing good. I still think the Bills coach is going to get fired this year. And remember, I told you they were going to lose to the Falcons. They did lose to the Falcons 2 weeks ago. This is going to continue their losing streak. It's going to be a tumble for the Bills. They're going to lose outright.
I would have been on this side, except for Bryce Young is out, and I don't want to go with the redheaded guy that's 80 years old. Bryce Young has
They're the
ankle
same
injury.
guy, Mike. Same
Bryce
guy.
Bryce Young's been playing really good for them. When he got
13 points.
knocked, he got knocked out of the game. He got injured. Okay, and they brought in what's his name? The
Andy Dalton. They're the same quarterback, Mike. It doesn't matter. They're the exact
the guy's
same
45, dude. The guy's older than Flacco. Coming off a bye. If you get, I can't take 7.
I'd rather have
Andy
Dalton. I'd rather have like
dude,
a
Bryce
Dalton
Young's
with no
been
tape.
great.
No
He's been
tape.
great
no
the
tape.
last 4 games. You're wrong about
We're
that.
not great.
Listen, if Bryce Young was playing, I'm all in with you. I just can't. I don't know. The
Bryce,
Bills-
hold on. Bryce Young, 15 of 25, 138. Come on, get out of here. He's been great.
15 of 25 is not bad. Okay. They were playing. They were playing the fucking.
I can't
Jets.
debate it against that. That's horrible.
We've already talked about how good the Jets defense has been. Okay, go ahead.
I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills at 7 because I think they're going to wake up. I mean, they beat a bunch of bad teams. We all thought, wow, they're a top 3 team in the league, right? Yeah. And then they got smashed a couple of times. Mm-hmm. But I think they're going to wake up. They've been hearing how bad they are. They're coming in. Carolina, here's my quote, is a great place to get right when you're an NFL
They
team.
are 3-0 and 3-0 against the spread at home, Carolina. So I do give, again, if Bryce Young's playing, I would have gone with Woodley. I just can't with
Okay, guys, after the break, we're going to come back with a shorter segment
Survivor
on our Survivor picks, which a lot of people are talking about, our Survivor pick segments. See you on the other side of the break.
You're listening to Feta Sports on the VEASAN Podcast Network.
Feta Sports, our VEASAN podcast that brings a poker player's mindset to every bet. Get our no-holds-barred survivor pool strategies and see precisely how seasoned gamblers, that's us, approach sports betting. Make sure you catch all episodes of the Fade Us Sports podcast as soon as they come out. The only way to do that is to follow Fade Us Sports wherever you get your podcasts, or head to VSiN.com/podcasts. VSiN.com/podcasts. We're running a little bit. The show's been chock full of great stuff here. Woodley, see if you can give us a quick segment on Survivor picks.
Don't overthink it this week. Go with the Indianapolis Colts. They're going to beat the Titans. It's going to be chalk. It doesn't matter though. There's not a lot of really good spots to use them the rest of the year. Like, let everyone else get cute, taking some of these mediocre teams as 7-point favorites.
Cantu.
Yeah, I'm gonna. If you're playing in a smaller pool, I think you do go chalk, as Woodley saying there with Indy. If you're in like a circa giant pool, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the Bengals. There's really no spots to use them other than unless you make Week 18 when they're playing the Browns at home and Burrow is back. But that's a big ask. The pool might be over by then. So give me the Bengals.
Mikey.
I'm going with the second best defense in the NFL. Going against a team that I think the coach has lost it. I can't believe he hasn't been fired yet. They have the worst run defense in the NFL, the Miami Dolphins. Going against the best running back in the NFL, Bijan Robinson. I love Atlanta and Survivor here. I think it's just as easy a pick as Indy, except it won't be near as much owned, and maybe you can save Indy for a different spot. Atlanta Falcons, second best defense in the NFL. Worst run defense in the NFL, Miami. Give me the Atlanta Falcons and Survivor.
I'm just going to say, very interesting. Last week, I knew I should have took Cleveland. I was on the podcast, take Cleveland.
Yeah, I wanted to. I knew it too.
I talked myself out of it. And this week, I really like Mike's pick. Atlanta, because I haven't used them yet. I think I'm going to use some Falcons. Again, mine has 3,700 players left. I have to use every team. So I'm probably going to use 3 Atlantas and 1 Colts. That's it for this week's Fade Us Sports podcast. Goodbye, everybody.
Later.